Here's a quick demo of our new JavaScript create component, or register component in fact. So what register component lets you do is register your own custom components. So when I look in here, there's this new slider component which has been registered. When I drop this on, it is creating the components inside itself. So it's creating a rectangle in the background and an image as the thumbnail of the slider. Now these other sliders here have been hooked up to some text boxes here. So their properties have been set using JSON. We can't yet set a custom property panel, but we can change these properties. So for example, if I was to change this color here to make it more red, so I'll make that FF there, that change is immediately applied. And also, if I look at this example, I've set a min and a max and a number of steps, in this case between 10 and 20 and steps of 10. And that essentially means, with 10 steps, which essentially means it's going to give you every single number between 10 and 20. So if we run that to test it, you can see that I've got a continuous scroll here and a continuous scroll here because I haven't stopped it, whereas this one here, it goes in these up to 10 steps between 20 and 10. But another example would be if I change that to say 5 steps instead, then we'll go up in values of 2. So if I run that now, you can see I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps altogether. And we could calculate it either way you prefer if you want to design your own component. And here's the cool thing about it is here's the code. So this is the register component. It registers a slider, an image, a thumbnail for the component, the title in the component bar, the description and the help, the init callback, a resize callback if you needed one, which is empty here, a refresh callback, which is when the properties change, and then this is the properties descriptors, which don't work yet, but they'll describe the type, the name, and a default if it's required. This is the init function, which actually goes in and in this case creates the rectangle background and the image, which is going to be the thumbnail, and it binds an on-move event. So every time you move across this component, it's going to fire the slider on move event. So for the slider refresh event, which is the one that we've asked for a callback on, it gets into that JSON data, parses it, sets up some defaults if they don't already exist, and then sets the fill color and sets the file name. So as soon as you change the file name in the JSON data, as soon as you change the color in the JSON data, it will call this refresh method and update your components. And then it also stores in the local store, so set data self, the min and the max and the steps, because we'll need those later on, which is this slider on move event that we bound. So this is pretty cool. So this basically lets us respond to the on move event. First of all, it gets the property, which is the width of the overall object in pixels. It gets out that min, max, and steps, and it gets them out of the local data. It positions the thumb. Now, the key thing here is that the positioning is done in percentages, because we're going to use, as you can see down here, position component, which is using our resizing system, so it sets it in percentages. So what we're actually calculating here is x in pixels divided by the width in pixels, and then multiplying that by 100, which gives us our ratio, and then taking off half of the width of the thumbnail so that we're in the middle of the thumbnail. Then we clamp it between 0 and 80, e.g. 100 minus the thumb width, so that it never goes, it never goes outside the range of our parent, e.g. it sits between 0 and 100 less the width of the thumbnail. And then we calculate the steps if need be. So in other words, if the steps are greater than 0, we apply them. We calculate the value, which is once again determined by those the result of these steps mapped from the minimum. So that's why the minimum started at 10. If we set the minimum to 10, otherwise it starts at 0. And then we position the component and raise the event on event A. So if we look at that particular code, we can actually see here, under the actions, we get that value coming through. So that in the code where we passed in the value is now passed to that event A. So just to show that in a bit more detail, you can see down here we're calling event A on ourselves, and we're passing in this little JSON packet which contains a value, but we could pass in the other attributes we wanted. And really, it's as simple as that. In a few lines of code, we've created our own custom slider.